Sure. Yeah. I guess for both of you guys, I know it was kind of an interesting travel day yesterday, but have you been able to kind of enjoy the sights and surroundings? And then how do you maybe balance that? Because obviously it's also a business trip here.
Yeah, had a couple issues with the plane, but I did get some good sleep, and that's a good thing. Yeah, um, like you said, it's for business. We're here for business, and we're looking forward to playing Stanford. That's why we're here. So we're looking forward to that game tomorrow.
I think all the guys are, ready to get on the basketball court, compete for the championship here, and just do big things. Like you said, we've been, like Devo said, we had some problems with the plane and stuff, but ever since we got here, it's been good. We sightseeing a little bit, but we know the main goal.
And then for Devo, last year you guys had the foreign tour and you had the exhibition at Texas. And Musk kind of talked about how those trips like that really bring the team together. I guess how important is that in this standing, especially maybe coming off of a home loss like you did last week?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, these type of trips helps us off the court, and that's what we really need. And so I think us being here together and us being able to walk around with each other, and like T Mark said, see some things that we don't see back in Arkansas. It's nice, and so yeah, it's fun with this team. It's going to get closer and closer as days goes and as the year goes on.
Devo, I was trying to think of you guys went to Italy and Spain, and then what other country last year on that foreign tour?
Switch.
Switzerland, and so now the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So you've been to four different countries with Coach. What's he like to travel with, and what would you say? What do you think he
Nah,
thinks you're like to travel with?
yeah, it's fun. Since before I came to college, I didn't travel at all. Arkansas kid, never left Arkansas. So yeah, being able to come to the Bahamas, go to Spain, Barcelona, Valencia, places like that, very exciting, very fun, and I enjoy it. I like traveling. You know what I mean? And even though the plane yesterday was bad, like T Mark said, today's been really good. Having a little off day and be able to see the things that, like I said, we see um, around the hotel and things like that.
What is Coach like on these trips though? Because you're literally in paradise
Mhm.
right now, but still business to take care of. Like what's he like on these trips?
He's still locked in. Yeah, and T Mark said like we're here to win. You know what I mean? That's the main goal, and so we know he's locked in, and we have to be locked in within the space where he's locked in as well, because we know he want to win.
For both of y'all, how's the team responded to last Friday's game, and what have the last few days been like?
We went over it. We watched film. We took a deep breath, just examined examine all the things we did wrong, some of the things we did good, but we came out with an L, so we have to take that with a tough chin, just move on from it. But we're still getting better, and we're going to continue to get better as a team, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I feel like we understand like um, that game was a tough one, but we have to put it behind us, and we got a game tomorrow, and I feel that if we focus on that and try to, like I said, make sure we know our personnel and things like that, and our scouting reports, focus on the Stanford game, I think, and make sure that game is behind us, and we know that we got to get better from it.
And Coach, we already asked the guys about this, but I know it was an interesting travel day for you guys yesterday. You usually like to really kind of take in the sights when you come to places like this. Have you been able to do that? And then what's maybe the balance between that and taking care of 3 games in 3 days?
Yeah, I think if we would have gotten here on time and played better in our last game, because historically we've done a good job of getting out wherever we are. We were going to go swim with the pigs, but that got canceled when we lost the game. And then you throw in the 6.5 hour delay. Really screwed up our prep yesterday because if we would have known we were leaving at 4 o'clock, we could have had a real solid practice yesterday. But from 8 on, we thought we were leaving every 40 minutes. So it is what it is. You know, we're here. We're loved being here, and awesome tournament. The field's so strong. For everybody to be in one hotel is really cool. To be able to walk to practice and not have to drive or sit in the traffic. It's one of the premier events in the country, and you know, we got in a little bit later than we would have liked because we were so excited to get here. But you know, we've had a good day. Got to go have a good practice, have a nice event tonight, and then get ready to play the game tomorrow.
How often have you crossed paths with Coach Has at Stanford in the past, and just maybe, you know, what have you seen with what he's done from the program from afar?
Tremendous respect for what he's done. I think it was my first year at Nevada. It might have been the first competition that I had as a Division I coach. You'll have to ask him. But they beat us pretty good in a closed door scrimmage, and I've never done a closed door scrimmage since. So he made a big enough impression in the closed door scrimmage that I've said I'm done with these. I didn't think it did much for us. It hurt our confidence probably. To be quite honest, I was first time college head coach, and I brought Nevada over the hill to Palo Alto and took about a 3.5-hour bus ride, and the bus ride home seemed about 15 hours. And then we went to St. Mary's in a regular season game and got pounded there, but then figured out a way to win 26 games or whatever we did. And I thought that, you know, in looking back, that game probably helped us because his teams they really execute. They do a great job of knowing when to slip screens. You know, they do a great job in their pin down DHO game now. Have a lot of shooters, have experience on their roster, have some all league guys that are either former all league guys or will be all league guys. And then the improvement, you know, the player development that they do there. I mean, you can see it number 42, you know, with their center, how much he's improved. And that only happens through a player's individual work ethic and then through coaching staffs being devoted to work guys out. And then their staff's pretty unique. Brandon Dunson, you know, worked with us at Nevada, and Sam Little worked at Arkansas with us and is now their video guy. And Rob Eson is one of probably Gus Arginal's best friend. So there's a lot of connections. And then obviously Jared playing at South Lake Tahoe is the same place Chris Grant, former Cavs GM, played at. And so there's a lot of connections.
Coach, I asked Devo about this earlier. You guys now have traveled to 4 different countries together on various trips and stuff. What's Devo like to travel with? And what has it been like to just watch him grow over the years and travel with him and all that stuff?
I mean, you know, I think that, you know, as a coach, you know, you want to have a relationship that, like, you guys are kind of like you can read each other before stuff happens. You know, so I think through all the experiences together, I mean, I, you know him like a son. I mean, I said it last year in the tournament. You know, he's close with my wife. He's close with my, you know, like there's a relationship. It's not just Devo and I, it's Devo and Anthony Ruda and Devo and Coach. Like there's a lot of really cool things that happen. I mean, it's just, you know, it's really unique for somebody to play at one place in today's college landscape and not, you know, leave either early for pros or leave to transfer. It just doesn't happen often. And he and I, quite frankly, I don't know if we've ever had a conversation about him leaving other than, you know, discussions about, you know, testing the waters. I mean, he's never come to me about transferring or looking somewhere else, or, I mean, he's just, you know, wants to be a Razorback, and certainly, obviously, everybody wants to play at the next level. But I've never we've never had one staff meeting for 1 second wondering, you know, is Devo committed to, you know? And I think that there's a lot of trust, you know, because for these guys, it's hard for them to trust a coach sometimes, you know, and where you really, I don't mean just like, hey, I'm playing hard for the guy, but really trust.
I guess the only other thing I had was maybe for the players, Jared Bynum and then Peja Stojakovic's son, which that sounds insane. But 6'7"
We're getting old, Scotty.
What's that?
We're getting old.
Just thoughts on those guys. Because Bynum's assist to turnover ratio is crazy, 34-4, I think. And then Stojakovic can obviously shoot it pretty well, 6'7" guard.
Devo's got a good assist to turnover ratio too.
It is good, pretty good.
I don't
Can't
know
beat that.
Has he turned the ball over yet?
I don't think so. Has anybody got thoughts on Bynum and Stojakovic?
Yeah, Stojakovic, he's a good player, good shooter. Really wants to tries to get his shot off. We just gotta come out, make sure we're ready to play, make sure we're ready to play hard on defense. I feel like that's where it all starts for us on the defensive end side of the ball. So as long as we come out ready to play, I think we'll do a good job on it.
And Muss, I'm sure that you had, different run-ins and preparations for Peja in the past. Do you see any similarities between the games between him and his son? And then as a follow-up, you mentioned their big man and his player development. What makes him such a challenge?
Yeah, I think 42. No, just the fact that he can, he's got a face-up game. He can make threes. Really good on their pin-down DHO as a roll man. He's got a quick release on his jump hook. He can shoot a jump hook over left shoulder, right shoulder. I think so. They'll go high low with him as well. So I think there's a lot of things that he does really good. He's got soft hands. He runs the floor offensively very hard. So there's a lot of things that make him special. I think with Stojakovic, it's I think it's really unfair to compare, father son, just because it's a natural thing to do for sure. But I hope no one compares me to my dad. I hope nobody compares my sons to me. I think that each, these guys, they all work so hard to be great players, and Peja was incredible. And his son is an incredible offensive player. When you look at, he can basket cut, he can dribble drive, he can shoot the three, playing with a lot of confidence in a really short sample size. I mean, it's one thing for a freshman to have a great numbers in games 13 through 18 or whatever. But he's come out, first 4 games and proven score. And he's seized the opportunity when other guys have been out. Obviously, their power forward Angel's been out a little bit. Obviously, S. Jones has been out. And Stojakovic, they haven't missed a beat. He's done a great job, although he plays a little bit different position and a little bit different style than those two guys. But he's filled minutes in, given the opportunity.
Bob, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Got a question for Tramon or Devo?
Yeah, maybe for both players. I apologize if this is a little repetitive because really couldn't hear you guys at first. But obviously a tough loss, and then you come here. Kind of what's the mindset going into this game, and maybe wanting to wash out that bad loss. Maybe Devo could take that first, and then T-Mark.
These guys got to go to film too.
Yeah, we got to win some games. We coming here to win. I think that's the main goal, and that's what we're focused on. Like we said earlier to Curtis, like we lost, but we got to put it behind us. And we know it was a bad loss, but we got, like I said, put it behind us and focus on the next game.
Yeah, we gotta wash out that taste in our mouth just by coming out, playing hard, and these next 3 games we're gonna play. Coming out and win these games, and I feel like that'll do us justice going forward in the season.
I got some questions for Eric, but
Yeah, hold on, Bob.
Oh.
Excuse the players because they got to go to film. Jackson, you got a question for Coach Muss?
Yeah, from us. Is it good to go now?
Yes.
Eric, yeah, I think I have this stat right. I think of the last 9 national champions, they've combined to lose just 1 Thanksgiving week game. What is it about these kind of like these feast week tournaments that they're a good kind of indicator of what can happen in March and April?
Wow, nothing like putting some pressure on somebody to do well in a Christmas tournament, Thanksgiving. I didn't know that stat. I mean, I think every season, that's a heck of a stat for sure. But look, we have I look at, we have a 4-game segment right now, these 3 games, then we go home and play Duke. And I would say that this 4-game segment, regardless of who we play in game 2 and game 3 here, is probably the toughest 4-game segment anybody in the country. I haven't looked at everybody's schedule, but I can pretty much guarantee that nobody has a more difficult 4-game schedule than we have that we're staring at right now. Our whole thing is like, yeah, do we want to play well here? Absolutely. You know, do we want to string together a winning streak? Certainly we would like to. But I'm never going to lose the philosophy of every single day trying to figure out how to just put ourselves in a position to make an NCAA tournament, and then B, how are we the right mindset physically, mentally going into March. But first you got to get there, and the only way to get into the tournament is to win games. So, you know, high priority to play well these 3 games, because we do know that, you know, there's a national television audience that's going to watch these games as well and evaluate teams' performances.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
I got one other thing. I want to get this in.
Go ahead.
Okay. My mom wanted me to get it in. So the Bahamas, all right, is kind of special to our family, because Pete Gilcutt was recruited out of the Bahamas to play at Minnesota, then Michael Thompson and Osborne Lockhart. And so to me, it's kind of a special thing to be here, knowing that, you know, 3 of the first players that my dad ever recruited in college all came from Bahamas. So I'll leave it at that. They're all 3 really good too. And my son didn't believe me. Look up Pete Gilcutt.